Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel, and today's focus is on cleaning my home. The past week and over the weekend we have all been very sick, and my first video on cleaning was how to clean your bathroom OCD style. So if you want to see how to get a perfectly clean disinfectant bathroom, please check out that video. But right now, I'm about to start cleaning my just the common areas of the house, and I'm getting ready to clean out my vacuum. The vacuum that I use is a Shark. I've had really good luck with Sharks. They're excellent vacuum cleaners. In fact, Shark and Dyson are the only two vacuum cleaners currently that I would ever own. Dyson is great. I don't own one. I've never owned one, but I have family members that have them and friends that have them, and I have used them, to clean their houses for them. And they're very good vacuum cleaners. They're extremely expensive, and you have to pay for each an additional attachment, but they're a very good vacuum cleaner. I have always had Sharks, and I will probably continue to buy them just because, one, they last for a really long time, and two, they're easy to clean out. And they're just great. It's just a great product because, they don't, whenever you're cleaning, they don't spew stuff back out into the air. Now, it's a canister vacuum. This is my canister. This is actually the larger one. They actually have a purple Shark, and this canister is just a little bit smaller. But I'm going to show you how I clean this out. If you're not cleaning your vacuum regularly, you're not cleaning, and I don't care how good your vacuum is. You have to clean the vacuum. And I just take the canister and just a little grocery sack, and I just put that inside there. I'm gonna move this so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully Gizmo will cooperate. And while the container is in there, I'm just gonna dump that out. I'm just gonna release the bottom and just shake all that loose dust and debris out. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that over to the sink. Move that so you can see. And then I'm just gonna use some, warm water from a little vegetable sprayer and just kind of spray that off. Okay, now I'm going to close the bottom part up. I'm going to open the top, and then I'm just going to use some dish detergent. I'm going to squirt that in there. And then I'm just going to use my vegetable sprayer and just spray that around until everything is loose and broken up. Now this is the garbage disposal side, and I'm actually going to use the straining side. That way nothing gets stuck down inside the sink. And I'm just going to close that up good, and I'm just going to give that just a little toss, and it'll help loosen up all of that dirt and debris. And then just open it up and let it drain out. And then you're going to rinse this thoroughly a couple of times. You want pretty warm water. It doesn't have to be hot, but using the soap first just kind of loosens up all the debris. and the dust and the big bits. And if you do this quite often, which I do, I tend to clean my vacuum before each time before I clean. And clean the bottom. Just rub your hand across there. You can use your little brush, kitchen brush. And then you just want to make sure you rinse all the soap out. And make sure you do the from the other side as well. Okay, now once that's washed, I want to sanitize that or disinfect it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little bottle of pine cleaner, and this is really generic stuff. I get this big bottle for about 99 cents. And I'm just gonna just put that in there all over. Okay, and then I'm gonna fill this up with warm water, and I'm gonna let it sit there for about 45 seconds after it's completely full. And the reason I let it sit there for 45 seconds is because that gives the disinfectant enough time to kill all of the bacteria that could possibly be inside of the vacuum cleaner. So, or inside the container part. That's the part that's holding all of your stuff. And we're just gonna let that fill all the way up. And then we're just gonna let it sit there for about 45 seconds. And now, while we're letting that do that, now, with your Shark vacuum cleaners, they come with 3 kinds of filters. Right underneath your container, you have this large filter here. And as you can see, that gets pretty dirty. And that's, and that's a pretty clean one, because I clean every single time before I start cleaning. Now, directly underneath that larger filter, you have this thinner one. Okay, I'm going to lay that aside. Now, down here, you flip this up, and there's another filter inside there. That's your HEPA filter. Now, I'm not going to clean that one today. And I always have 2 of those. There. Sometimes the little clips are a little fussy to get back on, and that's not just with this vacuum. It was the same way with my first one. But I always keep 2 of the HEPA filters, because when I wash these, I always have a cheap toothbrush that I buy. And I soak them in bleach, and I scrub them. I let them soak in bleach water for about, or the pine cleaner water for about a minute. But they take a really long time to dry. So that's why I always keep 2. That way when I do wash one, I still have one that I can use. Now, these filters here are really easy to clean, and the water is draining out of the bucket there, so we're going to go ahead and rinse this out. And then you're just going to rinse that really thoroughly, your container, just so you don't have any chemical residue left inside the container. Okay. Now, once your vacuum container is clean, you're gonna get a little wad of paper towels. And if you buy the better paper towels, you don't have to use as many. And then you're gonna just wipe all of the water, because you don't want to leave moisture, especially inside of the canister, because then you get a really bad moldy odor. You're gonna just make sure you go on the outside pretty well, and you really want to dry the inside very well. That's very important, because if you don't dry them really well, you'll get a really bad odor, a mildewy, moldy smell. And then when you're cleaning, well, your whole house, and then go inside this top filter area and go all the way around really well. Okay, and then just go down inside. Try to get as much of that moisture out as possible. All right, that's good. And then you're gonna flip it upside down. Open the bottom container. Shove your paper towel all the way up in there to get all of that moisture out. Some more paper towel. You want to get it all the way up there so it gets all of that moisture out. Now, if you can see, there's this little tube section here. You definitely want to kind of twist your paper towel and go up inside that. And just kind of twist it around and go all the way up to the top, and then just pull it back out. And that way you get all that up there. Okay, so now our container is completely clean. And it's disinfected. All right, now for the filters. I'm gonna just lay these filters inside the sink. Warm water, you really want hot water. And I'm gonna do the little one first. I'm gonna make sure it's completely soaked all the way through. And I'm gonna get my dish soap. I'll either use Ajax or Dawn. They work the best. All right, and then I'm just going, oops. And then, let's see. All right, and then I'm just gonna take my hands and I'm just gonna work that detergent all the way in there. Just because it's loosening up all those fine particles of dust that are trapped in there, and we're gonna let that set aside. Now for this thicker piece, you can tell it collects a lot of dust. So I'm gonna rinse that really well before I just go in with the soap. And if you have one of these vegetable sprayers, it works a lot faster. You can purchase these filters, you know, and you can swap them out throughout the year, but they're really expensive. And I've had Shark vacuum cleaners for a long time, and I found, you know, I don't know if Shark would recommend doing this or not, but I have had Sharks for most of my adult life, and I've never had a problem with the filters after I've washed them. So I wash my filters all the time, and they've never stopped performing. And just like with the other one, I'm gonna put soap on both sides, and this is a thicker filter, so you really wanna kind of squish it and let all that soap get sucked back into there, and that way it loosens and brings up all that dust and debris to the surface. Okay, and then once those are coated, you want really hot water so these dry pretty quick. So, and then you're just gonna use your vegetable sprayer works best, and just spray them until all of the soap residue is completely out. And you can even roll them up and squish them in your hand. And you'll know just by feeling it when all the soap is gone. And you're just gonna give that a really good squeeze until as much moisture is out. And then you're gonna lay that aside. And then you're gonna do the thicker one. Now I'm gonna tell you, this one takes a little more effort to get all the soap out, but that's okay. You really want to wash it thoroughly. That's where you get a really good clean in your house, and you don't, you really remove as much dust as possible. That's one of the big reasons I like the Shark vacuum cleaner so much, is because you don't, if you buy a cheaper vacuum, you can tell right away that, it's not, holding the dust inside the bin, and it's blowing it back out because it's not filtered properly or enough, Okay, once that is thoroughly rinsed out, you're gonna squeeze it really tight and get all that water out. Okay, and now I'm just gonna take my kitchen, just paper towels. The good ones work best. All right, I'm gonna take the thin one first and lay that inside there, and I'm just gonna roll it up and squeeze the whole time. And if you use hot water, it doesn't take very long at all for these to dry. And you're just gonna squeeze and let that paper towel soak up all of that moisture, and it'll suck it right out of the filter. There you go. And that's perfect. All right, the little one is done, it's clean. All right, let's throw that away. Now you may have to do this 2 or 3 times with the thicker one, just because it is a much thicker. And you're just gonna put that like that, and you're just gonna roll it up and squeeze and let that paper towel soak up all of that moisture. And it does a really good job. If you use the hot water, they dry incredibly fast and they're ready to use right away. Okay, so now we're just gonna go back here to the vacuum cleaner, and you're gonna put these and the shape is pretty obvious as how you're gonna put it back in. Put that there. And then we're gonna pop our canister back on. And that's how you clean out your Shark vacuum cleaner. And it will give you a perfect clean all the time for years to come.